We all utilize its services daily. It answers our most strange requests, and you are even seeing this video via the business's video streaming technology. We are talking about Google, or more crucially, the Silicon Valley headquarters of a bank-busting company. Googleplex is located on a 26-acre location in close proximity to the San Francisco Bay Area and other international companies, including Apple Park, Facebook, eBay, and Netflix. The Google headquarters in Mountain View derives its name from a play on words. Evidently a mix of Google and complex, but spelled somewhat differently. Googleplex is a monstrously big number followed by many zeros. The last explanation likely alludes to Google's global hegemony and phenomenal performance. The land was acquired from Silicon Graphics, the makers of Jurassic Park's iconic dinosaurs. Perhaps this explains why a dinosaur still watches over the complex. Google did not relocate into a building previously occupied by another tenant for the very first time. This time, the international corporation took matters into its own hands by hiring South African architect Clive Wilkinson. It was reported that cooperation and creativity topped the mood boards in Wilkinson's office when developing the massive Google campus. Both companies collaborated to build a facility that was not just intended to increase productivity, but also employee happiness. This is evidenced with entertaining lava lamps and even enormous screens displaying live Google search phrases from throughout the world, a reference to the company's most renowned asset. Large whiteboards adorn certain walls with innovative ideas and not-so-clever anonymous jokes. In a number of the lobbies, pianos await the next musician who dares to play. Googleplex was constructed with an extraordinary amount of glass, which increases natural light, and offices are arranged in 3- or 4-person workplaces. These tiny groups are claimed to be helpful for discussing and developing ideas, but they are also sufficiently small and autonomous to eliminate office chatter. It appears like Google has achieved the ideal equilibrium between the two worlds. Insider images depict workstations adorned with Google and Android paraphernalia, and based on what we have seen, they appear to be conducive to serious productivity. The corporation does not want its employees to feel as though they are there to work. Staff members are treated as friends and have access to an extraordinary number of facilities. We are all familiar with the concept of an on-site fitness center, but the organization also provides swim-in-place pools. These are intended to lessen environmental impact by permitting swimmers to swim against an artificially generated current. There are ping pong, billiards, and foosball tables scattered across the campus, as well as places to relax and play video games. Google even has its own self-contained pots, which employees use to kick back and relax or isolate themselves from their environment in order to focus on difficult tasks. What about the outside? The weather in California is supposedly among the best in the world. Google also has this covered. The use of tennis courts, soccer fields, and other outside areas for frisbee games is completely free for employees. All of these are connected by a system of private walkways. A massage service is subsidized by the company, and medical personnel are on site to care for employees' health. A barbershop, a laundromat, and a dry cleaners. In fact, rumor has it that team members bring their laundry to the office on the weekends to avoid using their personal machines. The coolest part is that Google-colored bikes are used to commute between these services. It has also been stated that many employees are granted 20% of their job time to devote to irrelevant side projects. Fostering and encouraging innovation is profitable. According to Google, that is how many of its laboratories projects were conceived. Self-reliance was essential to the Googleplex. Although not entirely, a portion of the complex's energy needs are covered by strategically placed solar panels on the rooftops of the buildings. Some of the fruits, vegetables, and herbs served at the company's cafeterias are grown in one of the park's 2 gardens, which are certified by an educational organization whose mission is to educate people about the benefits of horticulture. Numerous scientists and psychologists have commented on the benefits of being outdoors for our mental health, and as you would imagine, tech giant Google recognizes these benefits by deliberately placing mindfulness spaces throughout the complex that include food gardens. Oh, and one final bonus: food are you seated? This is not for the faint of heart. Google supplies its employees with a plenty of free meals. Workers can enjoy free breakfast, lunch, and supper at the site's many cafes, including the main cafeteria, Charlie's Place, which was named after Google's first head chef, Charlie Ayers. These days, restaurants emphasize fresh, organic, and healthy food. The Buddha bowls and smashed avocado on toast that you see on Instagram are examples of the dishes that are being created by executive chefs, which are a combination of cuisines from throughout the world. We assume that a variety of dietary restrictions are taken into account when preparing the menus at the Googleplex, but Google employs real people, not just robots, and these real people get hungry between meals just like you and I do. A resolution. Each desk is within walking distance of a snack room filled with granola, candies, and hot and cold beverages. The novelty of constantly eating out may have worn off for many of the company's more seasoned employees, but kitchenettes with microwaves, kettles, and refrigerators are always available. Google 15, an unwritten adage among the company's employees, alludes to the 15 pounds that new employees frequently gain due to the free food. In reality, we do not know how much the corporation spends on feeding the entire campus, but one blogger ran the numbers and determined that it is at least $72 million each year. Traveling to and from the huge site, employees may ride a Wi-Fi-enabled diesel-powered bus, drive their own vehicles, and then park in one of 2,000 underground parking spaces, or plug their electric vehicles into the power outlets provided beneath a solar-topped carport. Visitors to the site will notice the amusing elements that Google has inserted throughout. An army of Android statues crowd the main outdoor area, including a Kit Kat and a gingerbread man, to mention a few. Obviously, the green Android persona is present, along with different spin-offs such as the metal Android statue protruding from the top floor of the Android building. What was the total cost? This location alone cost the company over $1 billion in the same year it acquired the New York Chelsea market for $2.4 billion. Not to mention the astounding amount of money undoubtedly spent on meals and other maintenance. This is one of the most costly headquarters in the world. What do you think of Google's integration of home and work life? Would you work in a place with such extraordinary benefits, or do you value your time away from the office? Nonetheless, if for nothing else, this location is worth a visit as a glimpse into what the future may hold.